This is Shutters Inc. with Bruce Williams and Glynn Lavender.
Hi and welcome to episode 547 of Shutters Inc. This is Bruce Williams from shuttersincpodcast.com, and joining me once again from Melbourne, Victoria, via Skype, it is Mr. Glynn Lavender from creativephotoworkshops.com.au. How are you?
Hey, you.
Hey, you. How you going? How you going?
Hey, you. Hey,
Hey.
you.
Hey.
Hey. What was the question?
How you going?
Let's see, same different day?
Yeah, right.
As mad as ever, possibly?
Okay.
Might be the quick response.
Right.
I was at, this I'll talk about this in a bit, but I was at a Canberra club last night. I started yelling at the people, so I'm a bit crazy. Yeah. Woman goes, the horizon's crooked. I said, who gives a I don't. If you do, it's your problem. That's a you problem. That's not a me problem.
Oh, man.
I said, it's art. I can do whatever I like. And if you don't like it, that's a you problem. Simple as that. And I think she was taken a bit aback. She was about 70.
I haven't quite worked out what the threshold is, but there's a degree of tilt to the horizon that is simply sloppy. But if you get past that threshold, then it's art.
No.
Yeah,
Any
totally.
angle is fine.
No, it's not.
It is. It's not to you. That doesn't mean it's not fine. It's just not fine to you. It's an art form. How can it be wrong? If it's intentional,
Yeah.
it being the proviso. If you mean to do it, it can't be wrong.
I will give you that, but how do you prove that?
What if
when
you want
it's...
the image to be jarring to the eye? By having it off kilter makes it more... but deliberately...
But having only, a degree or two
that's
is...
That's why it's off. That's why it's jarring. It's not jarring if it's 40 degrees.
But it just looks sloppy.
No, it makes your brain go, that's jarring, Bruce.
No, it makes my brain go, that's a sloppy photographer.
It makes you go, Bruce. It hasn't, it's better than nice. Or, I like that. It makes you think, why is it like, didn't he realise why? Or you start questioning the photo straight away. Does it not have more impact? I think I might do every single landscape from now on off axis. Because it's true. This is the argument I had with the lady and a couple of other people there, and they start but the judges, and fuck the judges, I said, who are they to judge your bloody artwork? I said, how many people in here I'm sure there's people in here who are the judges. You've got no right to judge my artwork or her artwork, or even you can judge your own, and that's it. Otherwise, you're just being pretentious and think you know more than you actually do. I'm serious. I was going like this for about 5 minutes. And guess what? This is in the first 3 minutes of the presentation.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, like their introduction. I even had to take over them reading my own introduction.
Right.
Because she was doing such a crap job. I said, I'll just give it to me. I'll do it. Because I said, you can have a bit of. It was like the words. It's very rare we have someone whose very presence uplifts us so much that the sheer awe of being of them having them amongst us and be able to look at their work is such a rare thing for it to happen. Unfortunately, it's not even going to happen tonight. But it was along those sort of lines, And there was like Glynn is often described as being loudmouthed, opinionated, pig-headed, but he really wishes his kids to stop calling him that. So that was my intro, but she was doing it really dull and straight. By the way, if you're listening tonight, ladies, because I promoted the podcast, Bruce, and I promoted it like I always do.
Oh, yeah.
I said, there's 560 plus episodes of content. It's about 500 hours worth to listen to. And in there's 15 minutes of genuine photo brilliance sprinkled in. Have fun finding it and let us know when you do. Guaranteed way to get new listeners.
So which esteemed camera club are you not going to be invited back to again?
Well, they've already invited me back twice for two events. See, because, I think, when you go in there and just do the same old, and talk the same way as ever, then people just but somewhat blank out because it's just all the same garbage they've heard at every speaker, at every camera thing ever.
Yeah.
But when someone comes in and starts insulting the person who invited you, and the lady next to her, and then anyone else in the audience who's brave enough to open their mouths, it has an impact, Bruce. In a video film clip, a music film clip I was looking at this week, it's there's lines like something about when you're running for president, tell lies right out the gate. It doesn't matter if people hate you as long as they're talking about you. You know? And that could be the Canberra Club last night. They don't like me, but they're sure talking about me. He was what an arrogant prig. But it was down to, if I want that image to be just off axis and it annoys the living crap out of everyone who looks at it, that's okay. Because it doesn't have to please you, Bruce.
No.
It has to please me.
Yep.
And
that's
nobody
true.
else. And as soon as you can get your photography to a point where you do not care about anyone else's opinion, you're in a hell of a lot better place.
Yeah,
As I
sure.
said to all these people last night, how many people here do it professionally? None of them.
Yeah.
I said, how many people here do it as a hobby? All of them.
Yeah.
I said, why do you want to turn your hobby into a stress like the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Why on earth do you care about Judge A's opinion when Judge B, who comes in next month, will tell you completely different stuff what the judge said last month?
Yeah.
And he's just shot your photos based on what the guy had said last month, and then this guy poo-poos everything that guy said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just don't. I said, you people, frankly, I said this to most Canberra clubs. I said, I abhor the fact that you judge and you try and judge each other's work and you do competitions against other clubs.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst thing you can do for your photography. I said, what I would much rather see is Club A and Club B agree, okay, guys, in 4 months' time, we're going to have an exhibition of our work on this theme. Let's have each club shoot this theme for 3 months.
Yep.
Then we'll curate the images for an exhibition. Then we'll have an exhibition at a coffee club somewhere where we'll all meet up for a night and have a lovely night and talk photography and view the images like we're at a museum gallery and discuss photography.
Right. Yeah.
Who's going to learn more? The person who sits there and they talk about why they shot what they shot and how they went to the same spot and saw different things and why they used that lens. But you're going to learn a hell of a lot more than the judge going, I prefer this one over the other ones.
Yeah.
Because I followed the rule of thirds. Yeah. Because Fibonacci was swirling all over that thing.
Yeah.
You know, there's, what's going to be a better night out? Yeah. Being judged and more than likely having your work told it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Because only 2 or 3 people are going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other 40 are going to go, well, your photos aren't good enough. And guess what? In Canberra clubs, it's almost always the same 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
So that's going to disenfranchise people and stop people wanting to participate because, well, I can't compete against this guy who's been shooting for 40 years, even if he still doesn't know how to turn his camera on properly, versus everyone exhibiting and discussing the photos.
Yeah.
Spending time looking at them, enlarging them and printing the things out, not having them displayed on the screen, printing them out on a wall where you can sit and stare at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon clubs who do that will have a far better culture. Yeah. Far better. Yeah. And you're not competing, and the top guys don't have anything to try and protect as far as their skills or their locations or their whatever, because they're not competing to try and win some mystical Grand Poobah trophy at the end of the year of least worst photographer. And they've got reason to share information.
Yeah.
So to all our listeners in Canberra clubs and those who judge and those, what a great way to start the podcast. I went off like this last night. I must be still on a flow because that's 2 days. I haven't let it go, Bruce.
Excellent.
So anyway, how have you been?
Mate, the last couple, I have got a cold. I've been off work yesterday and today.
You little precious.
So, but other than that, been all right. Yeah,
you little precious thing that you are, aren't you?
Yeah. I've been spending the last couple of days while I've been at home investigating and watching a lot of YouTube videos from the people who actually know what they're talking about.
So not us.
Yeah. About video levels, like getting colour right in video and
colour grading, do you mean?
Colour grading, but also understanding colour spaces and gamma, and been shooting in S-Log today, and
it's just pronounced slog,
right?
Get it right. Yeah.
And just finding that that. Whilst, I guess to a certain extent, it's a bit like shooting in RAW. My camera doesn't shoot RAW for video, but shooting with an S-Log profile is almost like shooting RAW, because what you end up with is an image that is quite flat and very narrow in its contrast, and so it all needs to be post-processed like a RAW file out of a camera. And what I've realised is that offers a lot more flexibility than shooting in the equivalent of shooting JPEG, but in the video world, So, and I've been doing all of this and thinking about this over the last couple of weeks, simply in preparation for Alaska, because I want to make sure that this is a once in a lifetime trip. I want to make sure I get it right.
Yeah. So you're planning on doing quite a bit of video?
I wouldn't say planning on doing a lot of video, but I will be doing some, and want to make it. I generally make a bit of a travel video when we come home from our various travels, but I feel like
have your other ones sucked? Have they?
Yeah, they have.
Okay. Was that the content or the look?
A bit of both, to be honest.
Okay. And by the look, I don't mean the colours. I mean, the way what you shot and how you've shot it.
It's more so the lack.
Slog's not going to make your composition anymore.
No, for sure. No, it's not composition so much as story arc. Trying to.
So slog's not going to help that either.
No. I know. So I sort of also.
I'm just trying to find, why do you want to go to all this effort?
Because as I've mentioned to you in the past, I actually do go back and look at my photos from previous holidays and my videos from previous holidays. Not super regularly, but probably at least once a year I'll look through all my travel photos, and so I want to be happy with what I come home with. So yeah.
Well, you won't be. No, you won't be.
Probably.
No, simply because if you're shooting in slog, you will be. You have to, when you come home, start working.
Yes.
And once you've worked for who knows how many months, then be at a point where you're happy, who knows, with what you end up with. Yeah. But just to me, it's an awful lot of work.
Oh, for sure.
I get the excitement and the desire to. I just always know personally that everything I've ever shot on video, I never ever look at the stuff again.
Don't you?
I sometimes don't even download it from the memory card. All my African, I shot every day in Africa.
Yeah,
wouldn't even know where the card is with the video footage on it.
What?
So little interest.
Yeah, right. So little interest in the content, or so little interest in the effort required to stitch it into a finished movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would love to show my kids, possibly. I don't know what's on them. I've never looked at the video footage, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But, just so uninspired to want to spend time video editing.
Right.
Yeah, let alone, and that's just cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just cropping crap out. It's not called cropping. What do they call it? Clipping? No. Snipping? Snapping? Shortening, lessening. When you cut a bit out, editing. That's it.
Yeah.
When you edit out the crappy bits, and just leave the less crappy bits in the middle.
Yeah.
Just the effort of doing that
and
putting together a coherent bit of footage that's not. Because you watch some people's home movies. They're like it's 45 minutes of the car going down the street. Same street, It's like someone crossed the Nullarbor and they filmed the entire thing, and you've got to sit there and watch it in real time. It's like, this is good stuff. Wait when we get there, But that's an awful lot of commitment. Yeah, because you're going to have who knows how many photos as well to go along with that.
Absolutely.
And what about memory? Because we were talking, I think, last week about memory cards.
Yeah.
What's your process then if you're thinking about adding all that extra content?
Well, I can always pick up a couple more memory cards, but I also have a 500 gig portable SSD that I will use as a backup. So if I want to clear the memory cards. If I don't have enough memory cards, I can always clear off the cards that I use for the video. Because the way
how do you get that onto your SSD drive?
With a laptop.
So you got to carry a laptop?
Yeah.
Were you planning on taking a laptop?
Yep.
Why?
Absolutely. Because I like to do my keywords at the end of the day. Whilst
that's just people, did you hear that? I've been telling you, people. Nerd. He likes to do his keywords at the end of every day.
Absolutely.
So continue.
Yeah, because...
So at the end of every day, you're processing...
Yeah, because you will. You'll forget where you were or, the various landmarks or whatever, and I like to document all that on a day-by-day basis while I'm travelling.
They came out with a thing before the electronic notepad. It's called a notepad.
Right.
And you just write it down with a pencil, Bruce. Day one. I think they call it... it's like the old version of blogging.
Right.
Analog blogging. Yeah. At the end of every day, you blog onto a piece of paper with a pencil. And here's the advantage. Doesn't take battery. Doesn't have to go on those international plugs.
Yep.
And doesn't require Wi-Fi. And you can analog blog. Let's just call it analog. Anablog. There we go. You can anablog anywhere as you're driving around. What was that called again? Anablog. Crazy concept. Day one, I anablogged this. Because, man, have you got a small laptop? Is it smallish?
It's 15, 16 inch.
Jesus Christ. You're taking your 75-inch plasma LED TV with you because I like the Australian movies, so I'm taking my TV from home. God, that'd be funny if someone actually said that. I just thought that was kind of amusing. God, I like Australian movies, so I like taking. I've downloaded them to my TV. I'm sure. Okay, well, yeah. Okay, so keywords.
So yeah,
vlogging, video, slogging.
Yeah.
So you're blogging, vlogging, and slogging. This is some trip you're going.
Yeah. It is.
Hopefully you don't eat some really bad food and a bogging. That will not be good.
No, that would not.
Okay, it's a 16-inch laptop. That's a big commitment, dude.
Yeah. I think it's 15. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway.
Could it be an excuse for an investment in, I don't know, an iPad or small?
I don't know.
One of my lovely customers a little while ago, she messaged me saying because Narbox have gone out of business.
Oh, really?
Devastatingly so during the COVID, and she was travelling to Europe and didn't want to carry a great big bloody laptop around with her.
Yeah,
and said, "Is there anything out there that is doable for this sort of stuff?"
Yeah.
And so I thought, I haven't really looked around much lately to see. And I came up with a really good option for her, cheap. And they bought it in, her and her husband bought it in and did some tests on it. I reckon it was absolutely brilliant. It was really inexpensive. Here, let's see, what was it called? I'm just scrolling through the messages of what I sent to her. So from Amazon, it was a new Q, as in new, as in the word new, Q, all in one, File Hub AC750 travel router. So it's a portable hard drive, SD card reader, and mini Wi-Fi device. And basically, you just put your memory card in and connect your hard drive to it and just routes it through.
Wow.
So for like about $80, I think this thing was.
Whoa.
So worthwhile having a gander at.
Yeah, mate, I'm definitely...
Just to put it in your brain and have a think about, even if it's something you ever want to do when you did a motorbike trip or something, and you don't want to carry a laptop on the motorbike because it's 27 inches or whatever you're saying. That's pretty big. You need a trailer on the back of your motorbike to carry it with you. So it's the new Q.
Yeah.
How much is it on Amazon at the moment?
New Q File Hub and portable router.
$79.90. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, so and they're loving it. They reckon it's working a treat. I've got a couple of messages from them. They went to They've been up to Iceland, Spain, Rome, Greece, bloody all over the place.
Yeah.
Italy, travelling for 4 or 5 weeks and just using portable hard drives and this thing, and away they go. So worth a bit of a look, just to kind of You might not be able to keyword though, Bruce. You might have to anablog.
Look, maybe that is the better option. Just
one less complication, if nothing else.
Yeah, and to be honest, carting the laptop is another kilo and a half of crap.
Yeah. And you'd be limited on some of the places you want to go in Alaska, I would have thought, weight-wise. Would that be? Depends on what you go. If you're going like float planes and stuff, you have to suck your breath in to make yourself lighter and stuff.
Is that how it works, is it?
Yeah, probably got to hold it for the whole flight, which is a problem. Well, at least until takeoff.
Yeah.
See, if you're going somewhere like Iceland, for example, I know you're not, but those names are freaking hard to pronounce.
Yeah.
So, you've got a couple of options. Yeah, one thing I do, here's a tip for you as well, a little tip from a pro. I'll just take photographs of signs.
Yeah, right.
Of the signs, whichever place I'm at, if there's a sign, I'll take a photograph of it before I start shooting.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's like when you're doing movies and they do a little clapper board, and it kind of tells you what scene. I kind of do that. That's one thing I do. I just thought of that and remember. That helps you remember where I was and what the name of it was.
Yeah.
But if you're at a place that's really hard to remember or spell, writing it down at the time is a hell of a lot easier than trying to remember, even at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because even just to get all the spelling correctly,
Yeah.
So same thing. I often do photos with my phone if that's the case as well, just to log those places in memory rather than relying on myself. Yeah. Because you might find this hard to believe, Bruce, but I'm somewhat unreliable.
I would not believe that.
I know, right? So,
well, mate, I've opened up a tab with that new queue in it, so I'll definitely have a look at that after we've finished.
So look, this is like almost a useful podcast.
Almost.
We've been going like half an hour or 25 minutes, and we haven't touched on much of anything, but we've come across all sorts of ideas. And me being my lenses from Japan arrived from Tamron, my prototype pre-release lenses. So
how many?
I've been out doing.
How many?
Well, they send two, but neither of them work properly. Because they're pre-production samples.
Oh, okay.
And they're not the finished. So I won't get the finished product till June, but I've got to start. But I need to provide images by the end of May.
So two of the same lens?
Same lens.
Oh,
two
right,
of the same lens. Yeah. But one of them doesn't autofocus, and one of them doesn't do something else. I can't remember what it is.
Right.
Yeah. And so they need. Sort of preliminary images by the end of May, but they can't give me an actual lens till June. So it's usually the way it works. So I've got these kind of black tubes with pink sticky tape on them showing where the focal ranges are and stuff. So that's kind of amusing. At least no one can if someone sees you with the lens, no one will know what it is because it's just a black tube.
Yeah.
Like shiny plastic tube, basically. Yeah. It doesn't even have the finishes on it that a final product would have. So so I've been doing some preliminary shooting, which is pretty good. I've had a little bit of fun running around for about an hour or so in the city doing some architectural stuff. Yeah. In crappy. They want.
So when do you need to get the images back to them?
Well, the first lot of images need to be done by the end of May.
Right.
And then the video, then the next lot by sort of mid to end of June, and then the video of me out shooting with it by early July.
Now, last time we spoke, you were threatening to head north towards Sydney.
I still don't know.
Right.
It's because I don't really know when the I've got the sample ones, but I would kind of like to shoot with the proper one, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Because I'm not sure how good these ones are. So it's still a little up in the air. And it's somewhat weather dependent. You've had some pretty crappy weather up there, I've heard. Yeah. And so have we. But I'm out shooting this Saturday because it promises to be a whole 16 degrees Celsius and sunny. So at least we'll finally get some sun. So the more desperate I become, the more likely I'll be heading to Sydney.
Right. Fair enough.
If I simply can't shoot anything worth that looks any good, sometimes going to a new spot. So I'll keep you informed. So I don't really know. Yeah, I've got a Zoom meeting with Tamron Japan. First time ever. I'm talking person to person. Well, face to face. After all these projects, tomorrow they'll sort of, I don't know what for, but I guess they'll be probably briefing me on more what stuff they want to talk about.
Right. Okay.
So anyway, so it's been a busy photographic week, and I've even been playing a little bit with AI with my images, uploading my images to an AI device. And telling it to create images like it.
Are you using Midjourney or something else?
No, Leonardo.
Right.
And then upload my images, and you can choose how much of your image you want to retain as far as style goes.
Right.
And it will then generate, and then you type in the keywords of what's important to you, and it'll generate. And some of the stuff has been really quite amazing.
Yeah.
Some of it's really tried awful, and that's just my work I've been uploading. So the AI, and I've noticed that I've got this one where it recreated a photo of this girl in a blue dress next to a window,
right.
And it looked, when it came out, I got, that's bloody amazing. And then I zoomed in, and her whole face is caved in. So that everything looks good until you look at the face, and the face is just diabolical. I'm not really quite sure why, but yes, that's been a bit of fun doing that.
Did she have nice legs?
Well, it's covered by the dress, so
nice legs, shame about the face.
Yeah. She was a butterface. Is that what you're saying? I'm not sure that's politically correct anymore, but I'm not sure it was, quite frankly. Yeah.
Since 2005, Shutters Inc. has been a labour of love. But beyond the time required to produce it, there is also a financial commitment. If you find value in the podcast and would like to help keep the servers running, hit up the Patreon link, which is in the show notes. Even a couple of dollars a month will help. Much appreciated. Now, back to the podcast.
And also, I will also, so just the last thing, so I've been still going down this rabbit hole of Ren, the musician.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I literally, Bruce, I'm talking 20 hours a day for at least the last 3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, I know this guy is underpants size by now.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And you know, and I'm still finding new stuff, and so far I reckon I've listened to about 110 songs.
Yeah, right.
Give or take. There's one I like quite a bit,
right,
and that's the worst one.
Yeah,
so
right.
The other 109, there are elements in each one that is pure freaking genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, or pure incredible emotion, or pure rawness, and pure. And I've been watching a lot of reaction videos. I watched a reaction video to. He's got this little set of 3 videos called Screech's Tale or Jenny and Screech's Tale.
Yeah.
And there's 3 videos, and they're all done live, one take videos. Yeah. But I watched this woman who's called the Charismatic Voice. She's a YouTube reactor,
right?
And she's a vocal coach.
Right.
She's a voice. So she's fascinating to watch how she dissects singers, and explains how they do the noises and all the stuff. So she turned a 13-minute video into a 1 hour long dissection,
wow.
And it was freaking brilliant.
Yeah, right.
So she had a little tear up every now and then.
Got to say, after we spoke last, you were asking me, I think it was after we'd finished recording the podcast, about how they'd mic'd the performance of Ren and Chinchilla doing...
Yeah, in that
what was that song?
Outlines?
What song was
Chalk
that?
Outlines or How to Be Me?
Chalk
It
Outlines.
probably would have been the one inside the building.
Chalk Outlines. I watched that. And I'm with you. I have no idea how they pulled that off.
How good is that audio?
It is amazing. Because she's right on the mic, he's right on the mic, and yet the camera is moving around both of them. There are no mics visible.
So he's spatially moving around them.
It wasn't even a mic overhead because there were angles where the camera got down low and looked up.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm like, wow, that is
an achievement. And the audio quality is remarkable.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, the performance is phenomenal. Probably the best duet I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Well, I lie. Their How to Be Me, it's duet with the same 2 people, is probably better.
Okay.
Also live, but because the reverb because it's outdoors, because the reverb is digital, or a non-environmental reverb, I don't think it takes away from the song, but the fact that their ability to use reverb in that natural environment, in that Chalk Outlines, is remarkable. I think that's phenomenal use of space.
Yeah,
and that's an art. That's coming from a photographer's viewpoint of how you visualize and see the world in a different way. I'm imagining how, as an audio guy, a sound person hears sound in different locations in a way that I will never. I mean, that's why you sing in the bathroom, for God's sake, because the reverb and the echo, as it's often called, is so much more flattering.
I don't know if I ever told you the story, but back in the early 90s, I was working in Hobart, but I flew to Adelaide to go to the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And I'd never been to Adelaide as an adult at that time.
Well, no one wants to, Bruce.
And I was walking through Rundle Street Mall, and there was an entranceway to a shopping centre, and this entranceway sort of went in off the mall at a 45-degree angle, and it was the weekend, and so the mall was shut, and there was the big steel roller door was down, and so you had this walkway that went into the mall that probably you could walk in about 10 metres until you got to the roller door.
Yeah.
And there was this guy busking. And what he would do was, when he got to the big parts, he would actually step backwards into this walkway. He'd step back towards the steel door, and because you had the high overhead and you had glass windows on both sides, it just naturally lit up with reverb, and he was using it to effect live as he was busking. And I was just like, as an audio engineer, I'm like, oh dude, that is very cool.
How awesome is that?
Yeah.
I reckon he angles for that spot every single time.
More than likely.
Because you get there and someone else is there and There's 3 songs, Tales of Jenny, Screech and Violet. I recommend, have you seen it at all?
I've seen Jenny's Tale.
Oh, you can't watch one. You've got to watch all 3 at the same time, otherwise it has no impact.
Right, and I think
You've got to see all 3.
And I think I've watched Jenny and Screech, but I don't think
Okay. You've got to watch Violet. It's the 3rd one. It's when he starts off in a hospital bed.
Hang on, yes, I think I have. I think I have.
But the point, his use of natural environmental reverb in there is the best I've ever seen, because he gets to a spiral staircase and sings a couple of notes up the spiral staircase.
Yeah.
And so anyway, regardless, I've been going down this rabbit hole. He's released a new video this week called Animal Flow.
Right.
Which is remarkable to watch. It's not, even if you don't like the music can be irrelevant. It's like a 3-minute 50 video or something with possibly 40 or 50 people involved, actually in shot at different parts of the video.
Right.
So he's walking past people and through a building and downstairs, but it's all choreographed. And it's all shot with one take. So they start the video and they sing the entire song through, and every single person for the entire 3 minutes 50 have to be in exactly the right point, at exactly the right spot, at exactly the right time in the song. Otherwise, the whole video has to be restarted.
Yeah, right.
The camera work is remarkable. Yeah, and so what blew me away once again as a visual person, the camera work and the ability to shoot a 3-minute 50-odd song with that many people, with that many moving parts in one.
It's a choreography masterpiece.
Yeah, this one was not live singing. It was miming singing, but everything else is live. Yeah. And I was so blown away. I looked up who the camera guy was. Right. And I got in touch with him. And his name's Luke Flegg.
Okay.
Flegg, on Instagram. And just to give him kudos. Because, I mean, the artist is getting millions of views and all this kudos. This guy who's done this phenomenal... I mean, just remarkable piece of camera work for someone who's not I don't think he's a full-time pro, or he's I think he's a start-out kind of guy.
Yeah, right.
And so I just got in touch with him, and he came back and said, "Oh, yeah, really appreciate it, because I don't think anyone had done that yet." And he goes, "I've been looking at your work, and it's fascinating stuff. I think, really, really interesting photography." And well, thanks. And he goes, "Have you ever seen Ashes and Snow?"
Okay.
And I've gone, "Nope." It says it's a documentary and photography linked together, and a man who's done this project where he's photographed animal and human interactions.
Okay.
I said, that sounds pretty interesting. There's a guy called Gregory Colbert.
Okay.
Who is a photographer and videographer. So I went and had a look. There's like a 60-minute. I'm not sure if it's the official documentary, or a bit of a illegal copy on YouTube that I watched. Link below. And frankly, I was blown away.
Yeah, right.
And the photos and the video, I would have to say, best I've ever seen.
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
Best photography I've ever seen.
You ever heard of a guy called David Attenborough?
Yeah, it's all over him. He doesn't film anything. What does he film?
Well, that's a good point.
He does. Narrator.
He's just a narrator.
Show me his home snaps. No, I'm telling you. I'm talking about from a cinematic, not great wildlife photography, I'm not talking about, they managed to take a photo of a lion chasing down a gazelle in amazing footage, and they used 14 cameras. I'm talking about one guy filming 3 cheetahs on the top of a sand dune with a blowing gale with sand flying everywhere, and a nomadic tribal woman sitting there, and the cheetahs looking at her in the face from about 3 centimetres away, in amazing, incredible sepia, in incredible light.
Wow.
I'm talking about this amazing looking ruin of a building with this great light shining through it, and this kid laying on his back, leaning with his head close to the camera, a tribal kid. And as he's laying there with incredible sunlight coming through, this elephant walks up, and the elephant's shadow shines on the wall. It's on the wall next to him, and then the elephant walks straight over the kid. Not on him, over either side. The most epic, most amazing. And I'm thinking, how? I don't know how. I'm talking about a guy diving, free swimming underwater with whales and with dugong, and dugong coming up and rubbing up against him. And this guy's doing basically ballet underwater with whales.
Could this be all AI generated?
No, this is all... And it all came out in 2005.
Wow.
And this is why I don't understand how it's 18 years ago. And it's a travelling museum exhibition around the world, I'm told.
Yeah, right.
I've never, ever heard of it. And it's just gobsmackingly good.
Wow.
Yeah, so I would highly recommend. I've got links there to his website and to the YouTube thing. And here's the thing. I went back to this guy and I said, I'm going to retire. This is so damn good. And he came back he actually sent an audio message back to me.
This is Luke Flegg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wonder if I tried, would it come out?
Well, why don't you email the audio file to me?
Well, I don't know if I can, because it's an Instagram post, an Instagram message, and I'm not sure that allows me to send it or not. I don't think it would. Let's just tell me how this sounds. Probably sounds silent because nothing's coming out.
Yeah.
What's going on there? Oh, where's my phone not making any noise? I wonder if it knows. I wonder if Instagram knows that I'm trying to. Because that's freaky. Do Instagram voice messages have a time limit? You work them for a couple of days, then they stop making noise.
Don't know.
I know. No one's ever sent me a voice message before.
Yeah.
Well, that's damn, because I wish I could get his actual words.
Yeah, right.
It was basically along the gist of, it's amazing, isn't it, when, I don't think he used the word peers, but when an artist in your field, effectively, comes out with something so monumentally beyond anything we've seen to date, and I guess this applies to any field, that your initial reaction is, well, that's it. This, how could anything be better than this?
Yeah.
And then he says something basically magical happens where space opens up. Yeah. And it brings forth new ideas and new concepts and new possibilities that were never there before, and actually guides you, leads you further into your chosen art. Yeah. And I thought, and those are not exactly. I wish I could. His words are a little bit more succinct. Surprise, and a little bit more poetic than what I came out with.
It's a bit like when Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile. It sort of opened the floodgates, and a whole bunch of other people were suddenly able to run the mile in less than 4 minutes.
Mentally, something changed, didn't it? Yeah, that mental, what is possible, changed. Yeah, and that's. Yeah, and this is just the whole thing about when you and I mentioned this on the talk of the Camera Club last night as well about you go on Instagram and everyone's photos are better than yours. Everyone's every single photo you ever see is going to be better than yours. So you can't let that be a thing that dissuades you or puts you off. It's got to be a thing that allows you to make, and I mean the really epic stuff, not just I've just seen 1,000 photos of people pointing at torches at the Milky Way.
I was waiting for it.
Well, because at some point it stops being inspirational. Yeah. Because you've seen it 1,000 times,
all derivative.
Not once. I haven't seen that. When you see something for the first time, that is, my God, as opposed to, that's a nice version of that. Something that is, my God. It can't. Is the time for you to try and get that inner voice to go, savor this. moment of something that's epically better, absorb it and try and find that space that it's going to open up for you, and try and find a way towards your version of whatever was inspired by that. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's the only way forward because, as I said, if it's not for guys like this guy doing stupidly great stuff or AI, we've got nothing else in between, you know. So go and see this stuff. It is just epic.
I will definitely hunt down Ashes and Snow. That sounds really amazing.
Look, I've got I've sent the links through to us for the YouTube video, and to his website. And the great thing about his website is it's got some behind the scenes shots of him shooting some of these scenes.
The Gregory Colbert website,
Yeah. So some behind the scenes shots of him, photographing the cheetahs, and there's the cheetah walking towards the lens and stuff like that.
Wow.
Comes straight up to him, and incredible stuff with elephants, orangutans, and it's got to go see it. Again, he's done that great thing of keeping it thematically the same, so they're all sepia toned, monochrome. So you got this symmetry through sepia tone or monochrome, basically. So there's this consistency through all of these images, even on from underwater in the ocean to top of a sand dune. There's a theme you can follow. So awesome.
Well, the only thing that I came up with was a link to some Pulitzer-winning images through the years on en.cultures.com. Cultures with 2 S's. How about that?
Do you know, if you ever took photos underwater, could you go for the swimming Pulitzer?
Probably.
What were they like? Were they good?
There's some stuff there that's,
What was that quote you sent through this week as well that was inspiring?
That was on Light Stalking's Twitter account. And it said, if you want to know what people value, look at what they photograph. Or what they, if you want to know what people are afraid of losing, look at what they photograph.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did that strike you? What was it about that?
Because I thought about, your leanings towards photographing people and my leanings towards photographing, landscapes, but particularly the outback. And I thought, it's interesting, because only a couple of days ago, Kath and I were talking about, how she just loves the water, loves to be near the ocean at, any chance she can get. And I said, for me, it's the outback. You can just drop me on a mountain in the middle of nowhere and I'm as happy as all get out. I could just sit there and soak that up all day. And I thought, that's really interesting. And then when I saw that quote, and I thought, that's, maybe that's a little bit of where I'm at. The way I love photographing the outback, and that stuff does resonate for me. So
do you think that applies to everything? It can't apply to everything you take photos of, though.
No.
So that becomes, because I jokingly said back to you, naked women and rocks is what you're mislosing. On me, I take photos of the cats pretty much every day.
Right.
No, that's true. I don't want to lose them, so that's probably a fair point.
I just thought it was an interesting observation, whether it's accurate or not. I thought it was interesting.
I mean, I said at the Camera Club last night that I wouldn't care if all my hard drives died and I lost all my photos. It wouldn't bother me in the slightest.
Right.
Except for the photos of my family.
Yeah.
And my parents who are no longer with us. They're the only photos that matter. So there definitely resonates there.
Yeah.
What are people? I photographed my kids, and I always used to go and do the coffin shots of mum and dad when I used to visit them to make sure we had good photos of them, because that's the important stuff. But none of my other photos, if I lost every photo I've ever taken other than my family, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
It'd be an inconvenience.
Yeah.
At most.
Yeah.
And people last night didn't believe that at all.
Yeah, right.
And I basically questioned me, and I said, no, because I get joy from the doing, not the end result.
Yeah.
So the going out and doing it, and I said to these people last night, I said, if the simple act of doing isn't enough, your photos never will be.
Yeah.
If you can't get enough joy out of going out, maybe with a friend or with your friends from the camera club, and just having a great time going out taking photos, if you can't get enough joy out of that, and if you come home without one decent photo, you're gutted, then that's priorities in the wrong place.
Yeah.
So for me, first and foremost, the going somewhere, meeting people in the street and photographing them, and the joy and the fun and the stupid stuff we do, that experience is far more important than the end result.
Right.
We still want good results. Of course, we want good photos.
Yeah.
But it's not the end. Yeah, the doing is far more. That has a lot more weight than the result.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that could also be. I'm just free thinking here.
Yeah.
That could also be because I expect the result.
Yeah.
I expect to get a good photo. I just don't even I wouldn't be taking a photo otherwise.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm hoping for a good photograph. The good photograph is always going to happen.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a different. Maybe that's literally just thinking that now, as I always questioning myself. Maybe that's a part of the process. Yeah. When you don't have that innate ability to always get something usable at least, and you're hoping for good photos, there's a lot more pressure and not pressure, but there's a lot more want and desire to get some nice photos. So maybe, I don't know. That was an interesting bit of free thought. It hadn't occurred to me. It simply hadn't occurred to me because I don't think of not getting good photos.
No,
it doesn't. It would if I was a landscape photographer or whatever, because it's not in your control.
Yeah,
yeah. The stuff that if you're a people photographer, everything's in your control.
Yeah.
And if you know what you're doing, you're going to get photos.
Yeah.
Because nothing to it.
Yeah.
You know? But landscapes, it could be a morning for 27 days straight.
That's it.
When you go to Alaska, it could rain every day for the entire trip.
Yeah.
You get what you get. You don't get upset. No, you get off, but you don't get upset. When things are out of your control, that's a pray and hope for photos. And you would do, like all good landscape photographers will do, everything that they can in their power. They'll have researched where to be, what time to be there, what time of year, where the light should be coming from. Where they'll set as many things in their control as possible.
Of course.
And the photo's still out of their control.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Or maybe I should say the photo they wanted to capture is out of their control.
Yeah.
There's always a photo to be taken. It's just not be the one that you wanted to take.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I do like free thinking through photography process and thoughts like this. I think it's something people should do all the time and question why you're doing it, what are you trying to achieve, what happens if you can't achieve it, what's your backup plan, what can you do, what's manageable in this situation. There's a million variables you've always got to be working through. So anyway, it's my ramble for the day.
Nice. Nice.
This actually could be to some people, this might surprise you, Rich, to some people this may have been a useful podcast. We may have thrown one or two little nuggets out there, and if nothing else, they can go look at Ashes and Snow, and that would have made it worthwhile if nothing else.
There you go.
If nothing else.
All right, well, Paul Sutton had sent me a whole bunch of things, but I think we're just going to leave those until the next episode.
It's 10:30 now, so I've waffled way too much.
Yeah, it's past my bedtime.
Me too.
I
get about 2 or 3 o'clock.
Turn into a pumpkin soon. So
I got 5 hours of YouTube I need to catch up on, Bruce.
Right.
5 hours of more Ren videos. May I recommend the Big Push, which is his busking band.
Right.
Wade in the Water, Road to Zion. It's 2 songs in one video. Check that on YouTube, and you'll all thank me for it because it's a piece of lovely singing.
Right. Excellent.
Yeah. And it's accessible, not like some of that other stuff.
Right.
All right, mate.
Oh, mate. Well, you have a good one.
I will. We've got that lens sorted for you too, haven't we?
Thank you very much. Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything yet, but yes, Glynn has reached out to Tamron or to Blonde Robot.
Well, same company. They're the importers of Tamron in Australia.
Yeah.
So Tamron's going to loan you a 150 to 600 for Alaska, which is awesome.
It'll be 500, won't it?
150 to 500. Sorry, I'm used to mine being 600.
Yeah.
It'd be really interesting to see some photos from it because I haven't seen any photos from it other than I know they're on the internet, but I've never gone looking at other people's photos, so I don't know. So I'd be really, really keen to get your viewpoint on it once you've had it for a while. Yeah,
so I'm looking forward to taking that with me. So
good stuff.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Especially remind me a few weeks
Yeah, don't worry, I will.
All good. Okay, mate.
All right,
Lovely talking with you.
You too. We'll talk in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, take care, matey. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
You've been listening to Shutters Inc. For questions, comments, and feedback, email theboys@shuttersincpodcast.com.